So a quick update before we go and have a look at the Pilot Proficiency Program. So the Gemini is coming on. I've done some work, I've changed the boom and I've straightened the skids. However, the canopy still needs the supersonic mounts, the head needs rebuilding, and I need to put a flybarless system in there as well because I robbed that for something else. The other thing we've got on the go is we're building a new Advance, which we've got up there, so that still needs to have full setup on that. And then the other Advance with the align blades on, that was working up until yesterday, and then Scott robbed some bits off. The only other thing I'm busy with is Nick loaned me this book, Snake Pilot by Randy Zahn. Previously I've read Chicken Hawk Fly, that was really good, so I thought I'd read this one as well because it's about a Cobra pilot. So let's talk about the proficiency program. So before we get stuck into level 1, I think not a lot of people actually do the Pilot Proficiency Program. So they don't complete it from beginning to end and they don't get all the levels done to an expert level. I think if you can use it as a guide, or if sometimes if you plateaued or you stuck for maneuvers, you can come onto the PPP and you can have a look for something that's at your level and it'll inspire you to do new maneuvers. So let's have a look at level 1. Now I've got videos of all of the levels in detail. However, in this one, we're just going to go through the maneuvers and we're going to highlight some of them that I think are quite important. So in level 1, which is for beginners, there are 8 maneuvers. Now they're mostly tail-in maneuvers. However, there are 2 maneuvers where there's a 45-degree tail-in and also a 90-degree, which is side-on. I think the only ones you really need to care about at this level is the constant heading tail-in circle and then the 45-degree tail-in and the side-on. I think those are the 3 maneuvers that probably matter the most. And then the constant heading circle is really tricky as well because you've got to try and get that shape. So instead of just going forwards or sideways in a straight line, you have to kind of combine it so it makes a nice round shape. Level 2 is basic sport. Now for the RCHN PPP, you don't have to download all 7 sheets to get an overview of what's going on. They do have a checklist that contains all of the levels with all of the maneuvers. And in level 2, basic sport, there are 7 maneuvers. And here you'll be doing circuits, figure of 8s, side-end landings, pirouettes, stall turns, and inside loop. Now the only one that seems a little bit odd to me is actually the side-end landing, because I think side-end landing is actually quite difficult. It's very easy to get wrong and you're looking down at the model, which is sort of an unusual perspective. All the rest seem fine, although the constant heading figure of 8 could easily have been part of level 1. I think on level 2 they got it about right. Now level 3 is intermediate sport. So this has got a couple of nose-in maneuvers. So you've got a nose-in takeoff, hover, landing, as well as a constant heading circle. There's also some aerobatics like the 540-degree stall turn, loops and rolls with pirouettes and Immelmann half Cuban. And then you've got a flying circle as well. There's also a little bit of sideways, which is the center heading circle. So that all seems about right, and it also finishes with an autorotation. Now the only 2 that kind of feel a bit weird to me are the nose-in, landing and takeoff, as well as the autorotation. Those seem a little bit advanced for an intermediate sport. I think nose-in landing can be really, really tricky, and autorotation, some people go all the way up to advanced before they actually even think about doing an autorotation. I guess also because it depends on the size of the helicopter that you're going to be flying with. But all the rest look okay. So level 3 was all about nose-in, and level 4, advanced sport, is all about inverted flight. So we've got 10 maneuvers, of which the first 4 are inverted. Then you've got stationary rolls, a 180-degree autorotation, which is basically an F3C autorotation, and then you've got a series of flips, so forward, back, side flips, and then consecutive flips. Level 5 is basic 3D, so we've now moved on from the sports categories. This level includes a few remaining orientations, such as backwards and backwards inverted, and then we also do some advanced maneuvers such as an inverted auto, the knife edge Pirouette, the death spiral, tic-tocs, vertical 8 and tumbles. Level 6 is intermediate 3D. So in this one we're going to do a lot more sideways. So we're going to do sideways loop and outside loops. Also sideways tumbles, rainbows, and some intermediate 3D maneuvers such as skids and tic-tocs, 4-point tic-tocs, half Pirouette flips, Mobius and rolling circles. Now a lot of these sorts of maneuvers I've actually covered in previous videos, so it's worthwhile just going back to my channel and then just searching for things like if the rolling circles and the Pirouette flips. And level 7, advanced 3D, is the final level. So this has got 9 maneuvers, and this is mostly based around pirouetting. So we're going to do some Pirouette loops, Pirouette inside loops, Pirouette 8, inverted Pirouette 8, and Pirouette flips as well. And then we'll also do some skids in and some more Pirouette auto tic-tocky stuff. You get the idea. Now there is no level 8 yet. So the one thing the PPP doesn't really cover is other kinds of styles. So we're not covering smack or any maneuvers that would be included in that. However, I have heard that IRCHA might be working on a new PPP, although this was 1 or 2 years ago, so I'm not sure how far they've actually progressed with that, but it would be nice to see a new version come out. So I hope this super fast run through of the PPP helps you in some way, maybe gives you some inspiration of things to try. And if there's anything that's not clear, just leave me a comment down below. Next week I'll be looking at the paint stirrer. So if there are any specific issues that you're having with that at the moment, perhaps you could just send it to me now and then I can answer it in that video. Until next time.